What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Chris. It's your boy, Chris. It's another amazing episode of Financipation. This channel is all about making money, saving money, building generational wealth, and financially emancipating yourself from generational poverty. On this channel, everybody, I give you a six-figure MBA level worth of investing and financial knowledge for free here on YouTube. And the things that people typically spend hundreds of thousands of dollars learning in grad school, I give it to you for free here on Financipation. And before I get started, I also want to give a shout out to Killer Solutions. They're one of my sponsors. If you need digital marketing, website development, or someone to essentially edit your YouTube videos, they're the best in the business of meeting all of your digital needs. So God recently blessed everybody, and my second child was born, and it was one of the most beautiful experiences of my life. So all my fathers that are out here, you know what it's like, and all my mothers out here, you know what it's like to basically have a child, and it was pretty cool becoming a father again. Okay. One of my subscribers asked me, Chris, when you basically have a child, what are some of the accounts that you open for your children? And I thought this would be a good time to kind of go into that. So with that, everybody, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. The first account that I opened for my baby was UTMA, or a custodial account for him for his college fund. Full disclosure, everybody, as long as you get the right type of college degree, a college degree is arguably one of the best kinds of education that anyone can get. So for my son, the day he got a social security number, I opened up a UTMA/a custodial account through Fidelity, and I started contributing a few $100s into it. And every time I get paid, a certain percentage of my income goes from my paycheck, and it pays into my oldest son and my baby custodial account. So my wife and I, we use low-cost, passively managed index funds that track the total stock market. And these low-cost index funds track the S&P 500 as well. And that's what we do all of our investing through Charles Schwab, Fidelity, and through Vanguard. And because we started this account when my baby boy was born, he has roughly 18 years to allow the effects of compound interest to let his custodial account and his savings account grow. As a result, by the time my son turns 18, he won't have to take out a single penny of student loan debt. Why? Because he's going to have money essentially compounding investing from daddy's paychecks every day he's alive. Additionally, I'm also going to have my children, both of my kids, apply to a lot of scholarships, well over 100 before they graduate from college. That way they get, hopefully, God willing, a full ride to go to college. And the money that I'm investing into their custodial accounts is literally money they can basically roll from their custodial accounts into a brokerage account. That, everyone, is essentially how you build generational wealth in capitalism. And years later, when my sons graduate from college and they start their careers at, let's say, 22 years old, they will immediately start rolling the money they've invested from the custodial account that I created into their brokerage account. And by essentially roughly 30 to 40% of his income is going to be rolled into the stock market and into buying land and real estate instead of using it to borrow for useless student loan debt. You will notice, everyone, that I mentioned that I decided to go with a UTMA and not a 529 for my kids' college fund. And we have entire videos on why we picked one versus the other. But for this particular podcast, everyone, one of the first accounts that we opened for my son was we opened a UTMA/custodial account for him. Next. The next account, everyone, that I opened for my baby son was a high interest online account. So if you go to wellsfargo.com and you type in Google APY, you're going to notice a 0.1% interest rate for the bank. That means, everyone, in English, if you put $1,000 into your bank account with Wells Fargo, in 10 years, you will make literally $1. Does that sound like a good deal? And keep this in mind, everyone. Inflation averages 3% every year. So every dollar that you put in, that you leave in a brick and mortar account, you are literally losing a lot of money. Later, I'm going to talk about opening a bank account at a brick and mortar account as one of the least important things financially you should do. But for this particular example, everyone, I do think it has a lot of intrinsic value having a brick and mortar account. Purely from a financial standpoint, it makes a lot more sense to put a lot larger percentage of your money into a high interest account. Why? Because it gives you literally 500 times more interest in certain cases than putting in a brick and mortar account. And if you're curious which high interest account you invest into, I have a link below. Click on it, and it'll basically walk you through which high interest accounts you should use. And for example, if you put $1,000 into an account that gives you 1.1%, you'll make $1 in 10 years. If you put $1,000 into an account that returns you 5%, in 10 years, you'll get over $650 in that same account. You get more than 500 times more money by parking your child's money in a high interest account. So my advice as a parent is that you should park the majority money that you do want to give your children in a high interest bank account, but make sure that your child still has a small percentage of the money in their brick and mortar account as well. And the reason why is simple. Kids remember and understand mom and grandpa taking into a brick and mortar account a lot more than having a high interest account. So at the end of the day, everybody, create a high interest bank account, okay? That's my advice. Next, the next account that I opened for my baby boy was his brokerage account. You can call me a financial nerd. You can call me a guy who's really about that life when it comes to investing your money and stacking generational paper. But one of the highlights every month for me is seeing my phone ping once a month and watching a few $100s automatically get taken from my bank account and be directed directly into my brokerage account, where it goes to a passively managed index fund every month. This is even more so for my kids. So when both my sons get older, I'm going to walk them through how to log into their Fidelity brokerage account and select an index fund or a REIT or an ETF and buy it. Obviously, since my son is under 18, these are all going to be brokerage accounts that are custodial accounts, and my wife and I are going to have full control of his account. But it's very cool seeing your kids purchase stocks, index funds, or ETFs and reinvest those dividends back into their fund. And from my experience of doing financial one-on-ones with people, most people are terrified to essentially log into Fidelity, log into Charles Schwab, or log into Vanguard to create an account to invest their money. Because once again, everybody, this financial literacy, and this is something that unfortunately is not taught in our high schools, and it's not something that we talk about at the barbershops, in the barbecues, or at the hood, or in the house parties. Then when I essentially, however, walk somebody through how to open up a brokerage account through Charles Schwab, Fidelity, or Vanguard, and I show them how easy it is to create a brokerage account, it literally is like watching the light bulbs in their eyes light up. So I'll be teaching my sons how to do this as early as humanly possible. And that way, everyone, and when you do that, everyone, it literally gives your kids a tremendous advantage in capitalism. Please hit that like button. Please share the video. Please comment. Please subscribe. It helps the algorithm. It allows me to give you guys free content here on YouTube, okay? Next, the next account that I opened for my baby son was his Roth IRA. So everyone, I'm a firm believer in telling everybody the importance of capitalism and the importance of entrepreneurship in capitalism. So what I want you to do is this: start that business, get your legal EIN number from LegalZoom.com, and then start paying your child a salary into their Roth IRA and not an allowance into their piggy bank. At the time of this recording in 2024, you can put approximately $7,000 into your child's Roth IRA. For comparison's sake, if you pay your child a salary and not an allowance and put $7,000 into it every year and invest that money into a good ETF or a good low-cost, passively managed index fund that returns 10%, by the time your child graduates from college at 22, they will have roughly $500,000 in their Roth IRA. And at that point, they could speak to a financial professional and easily roll that money into a brokerage account. Or your son or daughter could start their own career and just let that money continue to grow and to grow in a compound and retire decades later with literally tens of millions of dollars in the bank from the dividends from the Roth IRA that you started for them 22 years ago when they were born. People, this is the law of compound interest, and this is the reason why I tell parents that we have to start these accounts as early as humanly possible for our children so they can start making money, so they can understand the power of compounding interest. Remember, everyone, when it comes to Roth IRAs, the money that you pay your children has to be money that they have legitimately earned doing legitimate work in your business. So instead of your baby getting that allowance, once again, everybody, pay them that salary. So I have an entire podcast devoted onto paying your children as employees. You should definitely check it out. And my advice is to put your children onto jobs in your businesses that you start at home that the IRS deems that they can competently do. So if your child is a preteen, you can have them checking emails, setting up phone meetings, answering the phone, cleaning the bathrooms, or cutting the grass. By law, you can pay your children up to the IRS reasonable work limit of $13,850 per year without paying taxes. And make sure that your children, you're paying them a salary that is commensurate to the actual work that they do, that you would pay someone who's a complete stranger that's not related to you to do that exact same kind of work. Why? Because the IRS monitors this heavily. So if a person is only supposed to be making $20 an hour to do something, and you're paying your child $250 an hour, you will be audited. For example, my wife is a personal trainer, and our son is an adorable little baby boy. And we use him every now and then as a model in some of her internet-based, fitness-based programs and businesses and things of that nature, because she's a personal trainer. We pay my son the per rate hour that baby models go for in the industry for when he's doing promotional work for her businesses. And you can go on glassdoors.com to find out what these per rate baby hours are if you want to. When my son gets older, we will also put him to work doing things that children his age can competently do and be paid to do. Like, for instance, working in my wife's IT website development companies, as well as for my financial coaching LLC. So if you have two children, you can pay one child $13,850 to update your website. You can pay the other child $13,850 a year to model and to advertise for your businesses. And voila, you just legally lowered your personal income by $27,700 for the IRS just by putting your children on the payroll in the family business. So as I said earlier, everybody, pay your children a salary, not an allowance, and make sure that the money you are paying them into their Roth IRAs is from money that they can legitimately earn and they work for. Next, the next account I opened for my baby son was a checking and savings account at a brick and mortar bank. Compound interest wise, everyone, this is, and I talked about this a little bit earlier, one of the least important things you can do financially to open, but intrinsically, it might be the most important thing on the list because nothing is cooler than walking your 3 or 4 year old son into a bank, into a brick and mortar account, and opening a checking account for them. And the reason why I say that is because these are the kind of memories that your kids are going to remember. They're going to remember when mommy and daddy held their hand and walked them into the bank. And something I love about opening a bank account for your child is that you get them used to the idea of walking into establishments and talking to financial professionals who address them as sir or as ma'am. And as an American and as a minority, that's one of those kind of things that kind of goes very further because it tells you that you belong. So even though I don't advise putting a lot of money into a brick and mortar account because the APYs and the interest rates are literally atrocious, I do think it's kind of a good thing from a mental standpoint for your kids to say, okay, that's that bank. I have a bank account there. And lastly, the last account that I opened for my son was Dialogue. The last point should come literally as no surprise because anyone who knows me and knows this channel is I constantly talk about the need that we need to build generational wealth and leave something for our kids. And I constantly talk about the need as minorities and as Americans in general, we need to teach our children about money and how to be financially literate in the United States of America. Everyone, it makes literally no sense to work hard for 50 years and to have literally millions of dollars waiting for your children and for them to be spoiled, lazy, and rotten and have literally no idea about the concept of hard work or how to basically make that money grow. And it's sad to me when I see people who leave literally $1 million to their kids and their kids blow it all in 5 years partying and making it rain at the club and doing stupid stuff and just lose all of mommy and daddy's money. That's very, very sad. And generational wealth, everyone, is the name of this game. And on this channel, I unabashedly talk about the need for people, especially people that look like me, to build generational wealth. And in my own way, I've already started having wealth building financial consultations with my baby boys about what investing looks like and the power of delayed gratification. I plan on having full-on financial discussions with my boys once they turn around 7 or 8 years old. And I want them to take pride in being able to log into their brokerage accounts and even have intelligent conversations with people about how they invest their money. And to my listeners, also keep this in mind about the men and the women that you date and you marry, as they are also going to be directly tied to the generational wealth that you try to build. My wife and I, full disclosure, when we were dating, we had financial date nights in Miami. And when we dated, and that was one of the ways that I honestly determined that my wife was a woman, because financially, I knew that she was basically heading in the right direction as far as how she looked at investing, how she looked at spending and saving money. And among other things, fellas, you should not marry a woman that does not understand money. I'm just gonna keep it real with you. And something else I found dope with my wife was that I would literally give her books to read. And when she would read these books, she came back to me with questions. And that mindset was one of the things that kind of showed me, okay, I love the way my wife thinks about money. As parents, you should be having weekly financial conversations with their children so that they become financially literate and know and understand the importance of brokerage accounts, index funds, real estate investment trusts, ETFs, and mutual funds. As a parent, you should be having your children read books about finance and investing, about custodial accounts, about 529 accounts, about the real estate investment trust. And the best part about it is if you have no idea what I'm talking about, people, I literally have well over 100 videos where I talk about all this stuff, about how to financially emancipate yourself from poverty and how to build generational wealth for you and for your grandchildren. So everyone, these were essentially the types of accounts and type of dialogue that I opened for both my sons when they were born. And I hope this helps you as well. Because at the end of the day, everybody, financial literacy is not taught in our schools. And as parents, it is our job to teach that to our families and to our family members that actually want to learn. In closing, everybody, this channel is all about making money. It's all about saving money. It's all about building generational wealth. And it's all about financially emancipating yourself from generational poverty. You can book a one-on-one session with me at any point. The link is below. I'm not giving you financial advice, everybody. You must make responsible decisions based on the thorough independent research that you do for yourself. And thanks for listening, everyone. Please check me out at my website, www.therealfinancipation.com or Instagram, _Financipation. Please check me out on Spotify, Financipation. TikTok, Financipation. My Facebook page is Financipation, and my check out my digital blog as well on Financipation as well for $4.99 a month. Additionally, please check out some of my digital e-products below as well and hit that notification bell. Please like, please comment, please subscribe, everyone. Please hit that notification bell so you know when I drop new content. And thanks, Skeleton Solutions, for all of these dope graphics. It's your boy Chris. I'm out. Peace.